understand what your values are outside of work and then schedule those values. Small to medium businesses are looking for ways to offload, right? A lot of their security processes and practices so that their IT folks, and they may not have security specialists, so their IT folks can focus on whatever the business is demanding in terms of a priority from an IT standpoint. So if they can outsource the ability to detect an advanced threat to, say, an MSP or an MSSP without having to invest in on-premise infrastructure, then that becomes a win for them. So that's, I think that's big, especially in the mid-market. On the large enterprise side, it comes down to either the ability to have tools on site that their in-house talent can use for the betterment of their security posture. An example is having an IOC of an APT that we discovered and being able to search for it, or having YARA rules that might allow them to find another variant of an APT that the same threat actor might use in the future. There are others that are looking for sort of a hybrid model, even in large enterprise, where they have a finite number of skilled resources internally, but may not have either the capital or the ability to attract enough talent to have a full-blown security operations center. And so they're looking also to, for help from their security vendor, whether it be an MSSP or even a vendor themselves, to outsource some of that. And it could be help with analyzing threat information, help with threat hunting, maybe training for threat hunting to enrich the capabilities that they already have. But in general, in the larger enterprise, they're looking for more advanced services, in-house tools, or some aspect of outsourcing to help make their entire security operation more efficient. On a good day, I'd get up probably between 5:15 and 5:30. I'd check my phone and probably do some work, answer whatever emails I have to at that moment. Then I check some news, and hopefully I'm out of bed by about 5:45, and then on a Peloton bike by about 6. I get off at about 6:30, hopefully out of the shower, dressed and downstairs by about 7:15. And then it's really kind of like family time. We have breakfast together, and I think it's super important to do that. I think we can all agree that work-life balance is hard, really hard. So you have to be intentional about it. You have to work on it. And it's a work in progress for me as well, but my best advice for establishing a good and proper work-life balance is to, first of all, understand what your values are outside of work, and then schedule those values. You have to understand what your non-negotiables are based on those values. So for me, things like spirituality and my family are super important to me outside of work. So at night and on weekends, I have time on my calendar as well as on my wife's calendar. That's important too. If you have a partner or a spouse, try to share a calendar so that you're both on the same page. And we set aside time. And they're non-negotiable. So very rarely do I allow something else to sort of overwhelm those events that are on the calendar. Of course, if you have emergency travel or something that has to take place, sometimes it suffers a bit. But I think the key overall is to understand what those non-negotiables are, align your values to your calendar, and stay as consistent as you possibly can with those. And once you do that, I think you can establish the proper work balance that everyone desires. I rely mainly on a few things. One is I'm very rigorous with calendaring. So I try to schedule everything that I possibly can so that I get an alert for the most pressing action items or deadlines that we need to meet as a team. So I'm huge on digital calendar. I have my own mental calendar, which I can't erase. So it's always there. Sometimes if I'm not careful, I'll lose sleep over those types of things, and in the middle of the night I'll start thinking about the action items that are on my mental to-do list. But I consider it a blessing and a curse because a lot of times it does actually help me and it spawns ideas even in the middle of the night that I can action against and end up being decent. And then I'm actually a big written to-do list person. So I write out a to-do list, and I actually have a big sense of fulfillment in being able to check off those items as I accomplish them. So those are just a few of the tools that I sort of live by that help me stay on top of the items that need to be tended to on a timely manner.